of all, again, thank you for the time to stand in front of you and do this. So as he was saying, as part of our requirement for the course, we had to pick a particular piece for like a middle school band. So this is a rather easier grade, but there's obviously a lot of things you can always do with it. But before we get into the piece, what we're going to do is, if you have the blue book that you all use, the foundations, if you could pull that out and move it and go to page 28, that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're doing that, I'll continue to use some time. The reason I chose this particular is because the piece is in concert E flat, so that'll help you get familiar with what key it's in. And so I'm pretending like you're my middle school band, okay? So some of this you may already know, some of you may not know, and that's fine. But you're my middle school band, 6th to 8th grade, and this is the piece I'm choosing for you to play. And this is what I would do with my middle school band. So if there's something I may have missed that may have helped you, if there's something I did that was too much information, if there was any opinion you have, if you have time after class and want to share it with me, the quicker, more precise, not a very long detail, this way I know exactly what to work on. As we go and I ask questions, I obviously don't know anybody's name, so if I ask some questions and somebody wants to answer, cool. If nobody answers, I'll kind of just pick somebody. Don't be scared about a wrong answer. Who cares about that? I think sometimes we're scared to answer because we don't want to look dumb. But in 10 years, you might only know 2 or 3 people around you. So enjoy this time and get the education while you can. So let's start on page 28. What we're going to do is just play our major E flat scale, and we'll play 2 octaves. So if you're ready, let's go ahead. Everybody good? Page 28.
The trumpet is kind of hard.
Go ahead. Concert E flat.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to do 2 octaves, so you just want us to start.
Whatever. Yes, and thank you for letting me know. Wherever you can start and/or go, and if whatever you can do, that's fine.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want you to screech anywhere you don't have. Yeah, wherever you have to switch octaves, that's fine. Whatever.
That's.
See, that's good. Ready? Just exactly what's written. Just as it's written. Yep. Just as it's written. Ready? Good. Don't rush the last 8 notes. I kind of felt it a little over here in the saxophone area. The piece that we're going to play is at a very steady, smooth, like 89 to 90. Very easy to rush 8th notes in that. So let's try that again one more time and just keep a really nice steady tempo. Okay. Exercise. It's on the scale pattern 1, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do the 4th articulation. Are they listed there for you? Okay, so we're going to tie the first 2 8th notes, and then the second 2 8th notes are going to be staccato. So ta, 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 and make those staccato for right now, the second set of 8th notes. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
You good? Cool. And you'll see why we're doing that, because it'll help match the piece. So it's scale pattern 1, just the 4th articulation style, which you're tying the first 2 8th notes, then 2 staccato, 2 8th notes, 2 staccato. Okay. All right, ready? Let's do the same thing, but instead of we're not gonna change the first slur. If we're going to change anything, it's going to be the second set of eighth notes. So there's a marking in the music where there's a staccato and a tenuto marking. Does anybody want to think it's not in this music, it's going to be in the other music. Can you describe that, or what that would sound like, or why would they put that and not tie it, or why is that, you know?
Because they don't want it staccato, but they don't want it to be, they want a slight separation between that note and the next one.
So we gotta love music. It's so weird. Sometimes things will be written and it's trying to convey something. So pretty much, we're not gonna tie it over. There's gonna be just a slight separation. So not as short as staccato, but more like a tenuto, a little longer length of value of the note. Does that make sense? So let's do that same thing, but just change the second set of eighth notes to just being a little longer. So ta, 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 ta. Right? Cool. Use our talker.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of separation between those first quarter notes, and then we'll just hold the half note out. So same thing, but just a little bit of separation. We were kind of almost tying those over, da da da, but just give it a little bit of separation. Okay. So one more time, and then we'll move on. Sing together. I love that you'll sing, because I can't sing, but I don't care. I'm going to sing too. So let's just try and sing how long you would hold the note. Half of the stuff you're going to hear, and I still hear it in college, is give the note its full length of value. You'll probably hear that all the time. You'll have a whole note, and you'll cut it off on the and of 4, instead of almost all the way down to the downbeat. So give the note its full length. So let's just, where's that note? Somebody listening? Ready? Some of us are given separation, some are not. Let's try that again. Ready? And a little too short here and a little too long. I know I'm being picky, but that's how I would be, and I know so let's try it one more time and think about ta ta ta. Ready? And better. You hear the difference? Okay, so let's play it connected, and then let's play it not connected, and let's play. Same thing, but separated. Ready? And much better. So some instruments are a little easier to kind of cut off and give time, and whatever. So, well, good job. So just a little quick background. Does anybody know anything about the Renaissance time at all? And that's okay, go ahead. Yeah, speak up if you don't mind. Explosion of music and paint, that's cool. Yeah, art, really good job. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Whenever I think of the Renaissance, I think of the Black Plague. Is that bad? Cause like.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Very graphic style changes.
Yeah, definitely. Renaissance area, definitely. Does anybody have any composers in mind that they may have heard of at that time? Might be kind of hard. Or a time frame? Maybe a time frame? Anybody like, yes, I know Renaissance time is this.
Like 1600.
Yeah, so 1450 to about 1600. It's not like we woke up one day on January 1st, 1450 and said, bam, this is the Renaissance. But that's what musicologists kind of do, is separate it. So it helps us understand, what this music was written for. A lot of times, music is written for a purpose, correct? A lot of times we got to find what that purpose is. So at this time, this piece is actually arranged by a guy named Mr. Rogers. He is still a director, but he dedicated this to Newport Middle School Band and their director, David Stroud, out at North Carolina. So anyways, about the music, the term consort was used during the Renaissance to refer to a small ensemble of instruments that performed at court. Does anybody know what court is or have heard that? Yeah, in Renaissance time. Yeah, like not court now, because
Like,
you wouldn't want to go there.
party kind of
Like a party, bingo. What else?
thing. I was gonna say marriage. Like
Yeah, I mean,
courting people to, I don't know, is that
Yeah,
what-
well, no, that's a good answer. But in this time, whenever they were at a court, this was all about. I mean, now we have so much technology and stuff that keeps us busy and all, like electricity and AC and cars. But then when people wanted to hang out, they all got together. They ate, they drank, they had a great time, and there were all these little performances and a small ensemble. So also as well, dancing became a big deal at this time. So that's why it's called two Renaissance dances. There's two different style of dances that would happen. And what I'm going to do is play, just real quick, I'm not going to play the exact recording of this, but I'm going to play what we are going to be mimicking. And I want you, so notice the guitar not, but
now is the month of May, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Now is the month of May, when merry lads are playing. Fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Each with his bonny lads.
cool. Give me some things you heard musically. Singing. What else? What else? Yeah, terms. So this is obviously not the music in front of us, right? But this is the easier version of where this has originated from. Anything else you heard musically? We heard what it started with, right? With some kind of percussion. So that's going to happen in this piece too. So when we start conducting and nobody's playing, oh cool, we got Mr. Visco. So he'll play that. What else did we hear that's really important? Go ahead. Yes, articulation, and then one more other huge key thing. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead. Style, yep. Yep, it's good. And something a little easier, and I'm sorry, you're doing great. Dynamics. So there was like forte, and then there was. So we have that in this piece as well. There's a whole whopping 3 or 4 dynamic markings. So what does that mean to anybody? Right, pay attention. So should our piano be here? Really here. And our forte be really there, right? So like really exaggerate it, correct? So sometimes we'll see piano and we have this just like mind of piano, and we just play like kind of what's comfortable. So while we play this piece, let's really think about over exaggerating the dynamics, the articulations, and keeping a really good tempo. So I'm gonna play just real quick, not the whole thing. If you were my middle school band, I may play the whole thing. I don't know. I don't think music should be a secret. No surprises as far as what we want. But also you should have some kind of sense of being able to, have the music done for yourself. So, the English composer is Thomas Morley, who originally wrote this. And it remains today one of the most famous English madrigals. Any of you who are going to study music at all, whether it's education or not, you're going to have to take music history and you will learn all about madrigals as well. But the setting of this piece contains very specific dynamic markings, articulation styles that need to be given special attention to ensure characteristic style. Percussionists should take care to not overplay the parts. So this way you can enhance the light dance feel of the wind. Okay? So a quick little hear of this, and I want you to tell me the first thing you notice that's like drastically different. At least in my opinion. It's not, I don't know. Right, tempo, like, wow, this is really slow, bump, bump. You know, but it's a dancing piece, it's for middle school. So, you know, it might be something that, you know, he wrote this on here. CA means like about around. We could probably take it a little quicker as well, but, you know, for a nice, good style, let's keep it at this tempo. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just read the first piece. I'm hoping that, you know, with a little bit of E flat, a couple things like that, we'll be able to read through this a lot easier versus, hey, here's the music, bam, let's go. Because sometimes we do that with music. We'll get a piece of music and all of a sudden we just start practicing it. We don't look into it at all. We don't find out a background, the composer. And I know that stuff is kind of boring at times, but it really gives us an insight as to what's trying to come off the page and what the composer's trying to do. Because one thing that I know is really difficult personally for me is composing music. So when somebody takes the time to do that, we gotta try to find out what they're trying to have us do, or trying to have what we're trying to bring out of the music. All right, so let's go ahead and start at the beginning, and we'll read it through, and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll go over the second movement a little bit. Doing on time, because this will be something I'll have to.
Yeah, you gotta be done at 1:15. You got 20 minutes.
Okay, good. Halfway. Ready? Anything in particular you want to pick out that I may say or may not say, or
Dynamics.
Yeah, dynamics, right, for sure. So it's like this passing off, you know, it's like the horns are, you know, trumpet players are usually pretty like cocky, right? And they think they're awesome, right? No? Some
Yeah.
do, some don't. I know a percussionist, we like stereotypes, it's funny by instrument. But anyways, so there's this big forte, and then you have the pretty little winds, right? Cool, doing their thing. So you have to have that feel in the difference of like a little bird and a big monster, right? So give mental images in the picture and over exaggerate the dynamics. Even if I want you to play kind of loud to the point where, you know, it's not, your sound's not bad, but it's pretty loud for you. And then play so soft that like, I have to struggle to hear you. If you lose pitch or intonation, that's okay. That's the only way you're gonna get better. So don't be scared to do that. All right? Let's try it one more time. Go ahead. Anybody else?
No, your recording is.
Oh, I think it's my battery. Thank you for letting me know that. That's important. All right, good. We're doing good. We still got. All right, so let's try it one more time. good job, really good read. Let's go to the next piece. I think that was great. So this next piece is really weird. Anybody want to take a shot at how to read it? I mean, I've learned. I've got the pronunciation. Let's go ahead, right here. Baby. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Anybody else want to try to pronounce it too? Perfect. So, what do we think this is?
German.
No. I mean, like, So now is the month of May. This was okay. So it's a dance. I'm sorry. It's a dance. It was composed by an Italian musician. Bingo. During the 16th century. So both of these are, late 1500s. This dance melody is quick and should be played with drive and energy. The tempo change in the final variation should be very fast but not out of control. So I'm going to play like we did last time, like an original of what this would sound like. Now it's not actually here. This is what's... So I think it would be cute to do something like this with a middle school band and have them dance while you play. I think it would be really cute, something different on the stage. It's kind of why I picked this. If my first job is standing in front of middle school band, this would definitely be a piece I would love to have them play. It's got a lot of good stuff, but it depends where I'm at, I guess. And then so let's hear just this real quick. Just a little bit. So a little brighter tempo, right? At the end, depending on goes. So once they come back, then I'm so you put that right. All right. Hold on, I'm sorry. That's my fault because there's also bass clarinet starting, right? Yeah, and so it's not just and trumpet. Oh, and you too. I know you.
I wasn't talking about me. I was just making.
Yeah, over here too. All right, ready? change because it's abrupt, it's right away. So the only other thing, anybody have a comment else on what we could fix on that just a little bit? Go ahead. Oh, I thought, were you stretching or was that mine? Go ahead.
Can you whenever you conduct a little bit bigger?
Yeah, absolutely, I sure will.
Because I can't really.
Higher.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I'm used, and it's no excuse, I'm used to being on a podium, but in this room, it should be up. I need to get used to being up higher.
I can't really see it.
No, thank you for letting me know that. And same thing with when working with a lot of choir directors. I don't know if you noticed, they always are up higher because of how the room. But anyways, thank you for that. Anybody else have anything as far as music too that could improve on that at all?
Play accents.
Play accents more. Bingo, that was the big one. Anything else? Good.
I know that for like me, I didn't do the slurs a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's kind of the same style as the first one. You know, the first two were tied and then short. But the big difference in this one are the quarter notes with the accents instead of the quarter notes kind of with that tenuto and staccato marking. So you just have to make a bigger difference in that. I think with repetition, after a while, you would get articulation a lot more. At this point, the first time really playing the piece, I want to focus on that for sure as well. But the big things were dynamics and articulation. I think you did a really good job of that. So let's try it one more time. And then I think that'll be pretty good. Might be all the battery I have. All right, one more time. Ready, bring this up. Really good job. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate
Tell me
it.
something significant
Awesome job. Thank
about
you.
the second movement and then the final chord. Emily,
The second movement's in C minor, and then the last note is a major chord.
which we call my
Pick
worst
third.
but least favorite thing in
Pick
the world.
third.
Yes, I hate picking third with a passion, but yes, that's a picking third. Very good. Now, Mr. Sexton, if this was your middle school class and you had like 10 more minutes left, is there anything that you heard? I mean, was it perfect?
No.
Okay, so what could you work on for day one?
So day one, the biggest thing was still, exaggerating dynamics, because we see like I said.
Okay,
we
so
see
how
Other
about
than
more
that-
so than the written dynamics on the page? Go with that.
intonation and.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get that on day one.
Yeah. Oh, so on day one.
So what else with dynamics other than reading the dynamics on the printed page?
I don't want to say don't play what's printed.
So
but-
when everybody's part says forte, everybody should be playing at the same volume,
Oh,
right?
of course not. Yeah. There you go. So definitely anybody who, if you have the melody, you need to be bringing that out. And I'm sure we hear the melody and know what it is. So if you don't have the melody, don't play as loud. I kind of like the tom, 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 so I like to bring that. I may be asking for too much now that he's saying that because it might be bearing out the melody.
Right,
So-
it's gonna be, it's gonna be different based on your instrumentation and your
Yeah.
quality of your players. But I think from day one, because if you don't get, if the kids don't, because what all teachers have to understand is that, why don't they understand this? Well, they don't see everybody's part, and on sight reading day, they're not gonna necessarily hear everybody else's part. So as long as they know what their role is, I am most important, I am second most important, I am just the accompaniment here. I think that's good for day one, and then we can adjust dynamics that way. But otherwise, it's just gonna be a battle for who can play loudest.
Gotcha.
Very nice job, thank you, sir.
Awesome. No, thank you.